Hey all, this is Andrew Contaxis, CEO founder of ABK Wealth. Here on my first video, talking about my brand new company, talking about why we're here, talking about, what I kind of have to give you guys as far as like an audience. Um, I'm really looking forward to this. But like I said, my name's Andrew. I started a company called ABK Wealth. It is a financial education company. As you can see, as my shirt says, the reason is because school doesn't teach this. Now, who am I? I am a teacher. I've been a teacher for about 20 years now. I've taught a variety of different subjects, all the way from 2 to 12, you name it, ELA, math, science, social studies, at all the different levels, K to 6 or K to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 12. I've taught it all. And the reason I got into this business is I love educating people and I love teaching people. But the problem is, school has its fair share of flaws, hence why I'm starting this business. And the issue is with school is I feel when you're looking at K to 12, they do a really good job of giving you a kind of a well-rounded academic education, which means you're going to learn reading, writing, math, science, social studies. You're going to get a physical education course. You're going to get some health courses in there. You may get some, STEM classes. You may get into some sort of I don't know, like working on cars or cosmetology or something like that. So it gives you a really well-rounded academic education. And then when you look at the next level, when you look at college, college gives you that professional education that you're looking for to get the job. And so what I really feel that the education system does so well is we develop professionals really, really, really well. Most people know what to do by the time they get out of high school. And even though they may not know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it, they have a good sense of what the program is next, whether you're going to go in the military, whether you're going to take some time off to figure yourself out, whether you're going to go to college, or you're going to start working a job. You kind of know that process because school has geared you towards it. Or if you're going to college, from all your life, you're told, go to college, 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 so you can get yourself a good paying job when you leave college. And so they go to college and you get this really outstanding academic, professional education. And when you leave, you hopefully have some sort of certificate or degree that says you're certified to go do this thing or go onto the job market and produce this particular skill. But the issue is nowhere along that timeline does school discuss money with you. It doesn't discuss it at all. So here you are, maybe a high paid lawyer, high paid doctor, maybe you're a construction worker, maybe you're a teacher like me. I don't know, maybe you work fast food or maybe you work retail, whatever it is you work. Now you know how to go do the job. Now you go figure it out. And then you get a paycheck afterwards for the most part. And when you get that paycheck, then no one tells you what to do with that. All of a sudden you have all this money to now go and spend. And that's what you're supposed to do. You spend money. And that is the wrong necessarily advice if you think about it from a lot of different perspectives. Money is a very complex and very well, I want to say complex, but money is a very nuanced thing about what you do with money, how you use money, how money is used. And school doesn't do a good job of that at all. If you look at K to call it K to 8, they'll tell you, what is a $1, what is a $5, what is a $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever it is. And they'll give you some sort of money sense when you're talking about quarters, nickels, and dimes. And maybe in high school, you might get an economics course where they tell you how the economics of the world works when you're looking at macro and micro. And maybe you might even get some, heaven forbid, some financial education in there where it talks about, you know, how to balance a checkbook or, those fun things. And I don't even use a checkbook anymore. We use systems now, like whatever your banking system is. But they'll tell you how to, basically use money, but all along you're being fed through the system, and then when you get out, you have no idea what to do with it. So what I think most people are is poor stewards of money And it's not due to their fault, it's because most people say, I didn't learn this in school. This was not something that was taught to me. And you cannot throw a rock and hit a financial education school. I can throw a rock and hit an elementary school or a middle school or a high school or a college or maybe even a vocational school that teaches you how to do some sort of skill like an electrician or a plumber or maybe web designing or something like that. But nowhere do you see financial education school. It is the weirdest and most bizarre thing to me that it's the one thing that everyone has in common. I don't care if you're the richest of rich person. I don't care if you're the poorest of poor person. I don't care what profession you have. I don't even care if you don't have a profession. You need money to survive. You need a roof over your head. You need food to eat. Um, Heck, you need to be able to get around, even if you need to go buy a scooter to get yourself from point A to point B, but you still need money to get around. And so you need money. And so why we don't talk about this is the most craziest thing to me. Hence why I'm here. Hence why I'm starting ABK Wealth. Now this is my old poster back here. I have a new one with my new logo on it. Ugh, I want to put that back up there when I get it. But I'm really interested in diving into these topics about money. What is money? How does money work? Why does money work? What is the purpose behind it? There's all sorts of different avenues when you talk about credit or debt, or when you talk about student loans, or when you talk about cash versus credit card. There's a whole variety of things like buying houses and cars and consumerism and producerism. So there's a whole lot of purpose behind money because we all need it. We all need to be able to use it. But it's very detrimental that our system teaches us to go out there and be workers for that system, to go out to be good citizens, where we now have these professional skills to go out and work these jobs. We work the jobs, we get these paychecks, and then we have to pay taxes to the government so the government can support us. And you don't even know what portion of your paycheck is being taken out to go be given to that government, or what the government's going to do with it, and then what you have left with that money, and how taxes are impacted into that, and like how does the tax system work when it comes to money. So the conversation is a very vast conversation, but I always think it's a very specific conversation because of the fact we're talking about one thing. How does money work? How can you use money? What kind of financial education do you have? And so the good thing about me is I've been in the system for so long. I know how the system thinks. I know how the system works. I know how the system eats, lives, breathes, and sleeps when you talk about education. And it's the funniest thing when I see a lot of these YouTube videos talking about coaching, and courses and things like that, which is all stuff, I do on a daily basis. I just don't do it digitally. And hence why I'm starting my company, so I can kind of give this information to you and not have to be funneled through those systems and the state, because overall the state creates curriculum for all the different counties and all the different cities and all the different states, and every city, or sorry, every state is a little bit different in its curriculum. So when you're looking at, you have to teach through a very specific lens. But I've become a very, very good educator, and now that I've seen the system from inside, it's taken me a while, but now I've started to learn about the system outside of education and started learning about money and financial education. And I've been able to use my money to be able to make money and grow money and talk about things like return on investment, and how do you get your money to work for you, and how can you detach your time from your money to figure out a different way, because there is a different way than becoming an employee, where you go to school, you go to college, you get the certification, you get the degree, you go to military, you have what all of this is, and then you leave and you become a W-2 employee, which means that you're working for a paycheck, and there's only two people that can pay you. Person number one is a company. Person number two is the government. Those are the only two entities that you can get paid by when you are a W-2 employee. Now, obviously, you can go work for yourself and work for somebody to collect money, but that would be what I would call entrepreneurship, which is a different category that I'm going to be talking a lot about. But I think most people are in the W-2 world. I think most people are in the camp that weren't taught about money. I think most people are in the camp where they think they're good with money or they think that things are well, but maybe they're not. And it's crazy to me that the only real education we have on money is what our parents tell us. What did your mom, what did your dad tell you? What was the common sense of their time? And information wasn't as available to them for the most part. But, obviously that's why I'm starting this channel, so I can start to talk to all of you about how money works. And I think that could be one of the most important things, because even if you're getting a daily paycheck, even if you're new to the game, whether you are, let's call it 14 years old and you got your first job as supermarket, or you're 18 years old and you're just now entering maybe college or real quote unquote real life where you don't have to go to high school anymore and you're not trapped in the box where you have to be in this place. Now you actually have choices and options to you. What do you do then for money? Or let's say you have a college degree and you have this certification and now you can go work a job or you're working a job. And I don't really care what the job is. Like I said, I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are. Everyone needs to know how to navigate money or have that financial education or to make sense of their money, to watch how do we make money grow? How do we keep more of that money instead of losing that money? Because when you think about it, you get a check and what do you do with it? You spend the check. And then whatever you have left over, that either A goes in savings, or B, you keep that around to accumulate until the next check so you can spend that on your bills, or you can put that into savings, or you can spend the money, however it is. But when you're a W-2 employee, that's most times how things go. Now, again, that's not 100% of the time. That's not everyone all the time. So I want to be clear that when I'm speaking, I know I'm speaking a little bit of a generalization because it's not everybody. But when I'm speaking about what I've seen in my time, what I've seen that, what my education has been, how I've been raised with money, and being able to help people. But if you think about it, if you ever look at someone who's working, they work the job, they work their 40, they work their 80 hours or whatever it is, they get their overtime, they get that check. Yay, the check goes into the bank. Once you put that check into the bank, now we got to pay for our cars, our houses, our food, our children. We got to pay for stuff. We want to go on trips and vacations. We got to pay for that. And then from your income, then you take out your expenses. And then whatever's left over from your expenses, now, what do you do with that? Let's say you have $100 that you made in income, your expenses, and I know nobody's living like this. Let's say you spend $80 in your expenses. So you subtract 80 from 100 and you're left with 20. What do you do with the 20? Do you put some of it into a savings account? Do you put some of it into 401ks, IRAs? Do you put it into the stock market? Do you invest it? What do you do with the money? So, you know, and that's not all necessarily clear about what to do and how it works and why it works and what's a what's a good use of that money, what's a bad use of that money, or how do you get that 20 to make more money for you. So that's why, essentially I'm here in this channel. I want to spend my time talking about how I can help you make money, or how I can help you learn about money to either A, make more of it, B, keep more of it, and how to use it to give your family a better life. Because I'm a father, I have a daughter, and a wife, and that's the most important thing to me. When I think about money, I think about, financial stability. I think about taking care of my child, taking care of my wife. I think about taking care of the people I love and people around me. And I think about, like, that's the most important thing. And are you able to give the people in your life that quality of life that they need? And that will vary from everybody about what is the quality of their life, what does that life look like. But here at our channel, here at ABK Wealth, It is my mission to help you all reach your dream outcomes. It is my goal here to help you live out your dream lifestyle, whatever that is. And I honestly think that no matter what your profession, no matter what your job is, no matter who you are, you need some sort of financial education to be able to help improve that lifestyle. So even if you're a lowly person that sweeps floors and you moved your way up to the cash register or you worked your way up to a manager, or for example, I'm a teacher, you work your way from a teacher to maybe a coaching position, to a dean position, to an AP position, and each one of those positions, as you move up, you now make more money because you are taking on more responsibility at that particular job or with that particular profession. And with that more money, what do you do with it? How does it work? How do you improve the life of your family opposed to sitting there saying, hey, I made more money and now I spent more money and I'm still in the same financial situation. So instead of you take the $100, let's take it $1,000. You have $1,000 and you spend $800 and you're left with the $200, or you have $2,000 and you spent $1,800 and now you're still left with the $200. Just because you make more money does not equate to that you are good with money. When you make more money, it means that you've gotten a higher position, you've moved up the ranks in your particular job, you have more responsibility, that the system has done its job, that you are a very good professional, that you know your job, you know your craft really well. But what happens after that when you leave the job, when you leave the craft, you go home to your house and you're with your family. You got the check, you did the job, you had your 9 to 5. It's now 5 to, to the 8 o'clock in the next morning, or from the 5 to 9 a.m. The other side of the half, because we talk about what do you do in the 9 to 5. You're obviously working for that paycheck. You're an hourly employee, but what do you do after the fact with the money? And so that's essentially why I'm here. I just feel like there is a drastic need in the market to help people get right with money. And everyone seems to have such an angle on it. Like if you go talk to a bank about money, what does a bank want? Well, a bank wants you to be a customer. A bank wants to use you for your money and use your money to work for them. So they're going to get you to give you their money so they can make it work for them. Maybe if you go to a financial planner, who are they beholden to? Who are they, so you're getting advice from quote unquote an expert who's a financial planner, but who are they working for? How does that financial planner make their money when they talk to you about how you should save or make your money? And I think when you look at people's intentions, you'll find very quickly, what their advice is and how it aligns to how do they make money. And they may have your best interest at heart, but they may not. And can you tell the difference when you walk into a bank and you're sitting there saying, Mr. Bank or Mrs. Bank, however you want to look at it, how can you help me make more money? How can you help me preserve my way of life or improve my way of life by learning about money? And again, as a school teacher, as someone who's been doing this a long time, has been educating people and moving people systematically through systems, um, and watching a student at the beginning of the process to a student at the end of their process and what that outcome should be. And I know we probably shouldn't talk about students as products, but essentially that's what they are. Student enters your class at a certain point in their journey of their academics, and hopefully they should be further along in that journey when the time they leave you. And they should be able to produce certain outcomes as the teacher that you're supposed to be able to teach them to be able to do. And if they're able to produce their outcomes, then they will produce well on grades, they will produce well on tests, they will produce well in society, they will produce well as individuals. There's all these reasons why they should be able to produce. But you got to look at what is the outcome of it. So I digress from there. I'm just glad to be on here. This is my first video. This will probably be my worst video for me ever. Hopefully I'll get better at this thing. Maybe I know I have a lot to learn when it comes to talking to cameras, or hopefully talking to you, my audience, because you don't see me in this room, but I'm talking to you, even though it's weird for me talking to a computer. But yeah, my name's Andrew. Again, CEO, founder of ABK Wealth. What you can do to help me is you can subscribe and like this channel. You can, we'll keep it for that for now. I've got some other things coming in the works, but please subscribe, please like, please share the video to everyone you know. Especially if they need support with money, I'm here to definitely support you. I'm helped the community. Hopefully, we can build this thing together. I would really, really enjoy that. So, you guys have yourself a good day, and I will catch you on the next one.